He drove a black Maserati, had a corner office with glass walls, polished shoes, Rolex watch, smile worth $1 million. He ran one of the fastest-growing financial firms in the city. Awards, appearances, charity events. Everyone wanted to be him. Everyone trusted him, but no one knew. Behind that smile, behind that $8,000 suit, he was hiding something, a lie. A huge one. His name was Daniel Markstott at 38. He was CEO of Argent Capital, a mid-size investment firm managing over $220 million in client assets. At least, that's what the brochures said. But inside that office, behind locked doors, Daniel wasn't managing wealth. He was moving it, rooting, hiding, manipulating, and it worked for a while until one small mistake blew it all wide open. Let's go back to the beginning. Daniel wasn't born rich. Small-town kid. Grew up in Ohio, brilliant in math, ambitious, charismatic. Got into Wharton on a scholarship, graduated with honors, landed a job at a big Wall Street firm before he was 25, but he wasn't satisfied. Not with just being successful. He wanted more. Faster, by 30, he launched Argent Capital. Started with a few private investors. Clients trusted him because he looked like the guy who knew what he was doing. He used technical words, carried expensive pens, threw high-end investor parties. But while he was shaking hands, he was cooking the books. The fraud started small. A few mistakes in quarterly reports, reporting fake profits, hiding bad losses. Why? Because he'd promised returns that were too good to be true. And when markets dipped, he didn't want to disappoint investors. So instead of telling the truth, he borrowed money from one client's fund to cover losses in another. Just a temporary fix, he thought. But then he had to do it again and again until it spiraled. Soon, he was moving millions between fake shell companies, creating fake investment accounts, even inventing fake auditors, all while posting record profits. And the crazy part, it worked. For almost 7 years, he bought a mansion in the hills, a second home in the Bahamas, a private chef, a yacht. Vacations in Monaco, watches worth more than your car. But one thing about empires built on lies, they always crack. The crack came from inside. Her name was Michelle, junior accountant. Fresh out of college, she was told to review internal transfers for a routine audit. But one entry didn't match the books. $2.8 million labeled as consulting payout, but the vendor didn't exist. She asked her manager. He said it was a holding account. She double-checked. No records, no signature, nothing. So she flagged it quietly. Didn't think much of it, but someone else did 2 weeks later. She was fired. No explanation, just told she wasn't a good fit. But Michelle, she wasn't stupid. She took screenshots before she left and emailed them to a journalist. It sparked a full-blown federal investigation. What they found was jaw-dropping. Daniel had siphoned off over $83 million in fake profits in client funds, created 12 shell companies, forged 3 auditor identities, filed over 70 falsified reports. He'd even bribed a state official to delay a financial inspection. And here's the worst part. Most of the money was already gone. Spent, hidden in offshore accounts, or burned through luxury. The FBI raided Argent's offices at 6:32 a.m. on a Tuesday. Daniel was still at home, drinking espresso by the pool. He didn't even run, just smiled, like it was all part of the plan. They froze his assets, seized his cars, confiscated his passport. Trial lasted 19 months. Dozens of clients testified, retirees, single moms, teachers. He'd stolen their savings, their futures, their trust. When asked why he did it, Daniel said, "Because I could." Because no one ever really checks. He showed no remorse, just pride. He thought he was untouchable, but in the end, he was sentenced to 48 years in federal prison for fraud, embezzlement, money laundering, and obstruction of justice. The judge called him a mastermind of modern white-collar evil. But even in court, Daniel smirked. Only $7.6 million was recovered. The rest still missing. So now, I ask you, was he brilliant or just heartless? Would you have caught the lie in time? Or would you have believed the suit, the smile, the sales pitch? Because in this case, the real crime wore a tailored suit and a perfect smile. Want more stories like this? Hit that like button. Subscribe to Echoes of Crime because not all criminals wear masks. Some sit at desks and steal everything.